Well, good evening, everybody. This is Tim Terranova, the proud superintendent of the Victor Central School District. Got an exciting evening for our March Town Hall. Got a group of young leaders with me right now who are going to introduce themselves and talk a little bit about themselves and talk about their experiences that they're involved in this year. And we're going to do that for about 20 minutes and then have another group, if this works right, we're going to be able to get another group of students on between 6:50 and 6:55 and talk about their in that case, athletic experiences, because we want to celebrate the diversity of opportunities and the fact that we try to have as many options for kids as possible, especially as they get older into the high school and all the great things that are happening in our district. So we're going to have two groups of kids on, young adults, sorry. And then that'll take us to about 7:15. And I'm going to try to give a quick update on our restructuring at the leadership level, give a couple of shout outs and talk about next month's meeting. So it's a packed hour. So let's start off. We've got two members, I believe, from our outstanding DECA group. Rohan, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Rohan Chitrai and I'm a senior here at Victor.
And then Katie.
Hi everyone, I'm Katie Ginther and I'm a junior at Victor.
Thank you, Katie. We're going to come back to DECA in a second. And then we have, I think, four incredible members of the musical Freaky Friday here, who just spent a large amount of time practicing and then creating an outstanding performance. Emma, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Emma.
And who did you play?
I played Catherine.
The mom, right?
Yes.
Sydney is in her car. She's not driving, everybody, so don't get nervous.
Hi, I'm Sydney. I played Ellie, who's the daughter.
And then Jake.
Hi, I'm Jake. I'm a senior, and I played the school psychologist and one of the police officers.
And last but certainly not least, Allie, who is trying from her phone, I think. Is she here?
Hi, I'm
go,
Allie. I'm also a senior, and I played Tori, who was like the crazy personal assistant.
Allie, are you on your phone or did you go back to the computer?
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
All right, nice job. And then a group that I spent a lot of time with the last week, who just does an outstanding job. We have two members of a large team, a large robotics high school team. Scarlett, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Scarlett. I'm a senior.
And Tiffany.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm also a senior.
And they are part of the robotics team. So let's just go through each group a little bit and then and just find out what you're doing. And so Rohan and Katie, I don't care either, maybe you can both talk. Tell us a little bit about DECA and what it means to the two of you and why it's such a great experience to be a part of.
Yeah, to start, DECA is a great club. It focuses mainly on business, but there are many aspects about DECA that you can take with you throughout life. A few things that I've learned from DECA are just how to talk to adults and how to be prepared for an interview. Like interview skills where I've taken in the real world, I've learned these skills from DECA, and DECA is all around just a great club to build skills that you'll need for the real world.
Yeah, to build off of what Rohan's saying, there's also these things called role plays in DECA. This is a huge part of like the interview process. You like get thrown into this scenario where you're like helping out in a business and you have to like solve these problems for them. And I have a partner that we do it together. And our first time doing it, we had no idea how to like lay out the timing of how to present because you only have 10 minutes. So like the first time we did it, we went way over the time. And then as we've gone through, we've gotten way better at like managing our time. So I would say it also helps with like time management. It shows you how to like keep things organized. And then also it just really helps with your public speaking and those interview skills and personal skills like Rohan mentioned.
And some of you, 16 of the members are going on to, where is it, Georgia?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the national competition.
Atlanta.
Atlanta, Georgia. So there's opportunities to travel as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, wait, now I know, Katie, are you a senior too?
No, I'm a junior.
Junior? Hi, and are you gonna, and Rohan's already in the middle of the process, because he's a senior, but did you use it? I'm assuming you used it as part of your applications process and put DECA on there? As far as, you
Yeah,
know,
DECA looks great on every college application.
Right.
Colleges love to see that you participate in DECA, and if you do well in DECA, that definitely helps as well.
it's awesome.
Mm.
All right, thank you for that, and great opportunity with DECA. So let's go to the musical. I'm just gonna tell you, I saw this musical, and the actors, and is everybody called an actor now, or do I call them actors and actresses? How does that work? Because sometimes, like, so Sydney, Allie, and who am I missing here? Emma, are you called actors or actresses?
Either one, really.
All right. Well,
I mean,
the actors and actresses were incredible in this show. Because you had to sing, you had to dance, and you had to act, and you had to remember all those parts. So, who wants to talk first just about what it was like to be a part of this amazing musical?
Well, I really enjoy being on stage with all these people. I've grown up with all of the people in my class on stage. Allie, Sydney, Jake, we've all have been doing this for such a long time. And it's just really cool to like see how much we've grown, not only as performers, but just like as people in general. Yeah, I've never felt so close to a group of people. It's really cool. So
It's awesome.
I agree with Emma, like, and to kind of build off of what she's saying, like, we really honestly become a family, like, as a cast, because it's such a long process and you're spending so much time with this group of people, having like on stage and off stage chemistry with them and everything. And it just really also like that being friends with them outside of the show too also helps build relationships on stage, which is awesome. It's just super cool to be a part of. And there's so much that goes into it. All the tech people, makeup, hair, stage crew, like even if you don't want to be on stage, there's like other options too. So I don't know. I encourage people, if you've never been part of a show before, like it's such a cool experience.
Yeah. Yeah, Jake or Allie, either one of you.
Yeah, I think like they were saying, as much of the show that everyone gets to see in the final product, there's like so much more that goes on behind the scenes, like with us just hanging out, and especially with not being able to put on a show like the normal way last year, this year being able to like be back in rehearsals, like hanging out with each other after school like normal. I think we were all just like very appreciative of being able to do that again. And we all went into the process, especially because it was our senior year, like wanting to have the most fun out of it as we could. And like with that mindset, and also like all of us loving performing, it's just like a wonderful experience all around.
Yeah, overall, after doing the musicals for like the past 4 years, it does a lot to like build your confidence, like talking in front of people, but also just talking with other people your age, because like grades 9 through 12 are in the musical. So you really get to connect with everyone. And it also teaches you a lot about like responsibility and cooperation, because like you have to be responsible for yourself, knowing your own lines, your own songs, your own dances, so that together the show comes together for everyone and it looks great. So I think those are some of the like valuable lessons that we're able to learn through the musical.
Yeah, and I like the way that you talked about, all of you, whether you're the star of the musical or one of the stars, or you're working behind the scenes in the stage crew, everybody has an incredibly important part. And if one person doesn't do their job, it affects the whole musical, the whole ensemble. And I think that's a valuable lesson to learn in life. And again, it was just a phenomenal show. So you get all the credit in the world. As I said earlier, I've spent a lot of time with robotics recently. And Scarlett and Tiffany are definitely a part of that. I went and saw the competition at RIT, which was either a week or 2 weeks ago. And then hung out at a practice on a Saturday for about 45 minutes. So a lot of people don't know what robotics is at the high school level and how amazing it is. So Scarlett and Tiffany, you want to talk a little bit about, how important it is and what's really neat about being a part of the robotics team?
So, for those of you that don't know robotics, we get like a new challenge every year in January, and it's called Kickoff. And we have about like 6 to 8 weeks to design and build and code a robot and obviously like practice driving it. Our first competition was at RIT about a week and a half ago, and we also have one this upcoming weekend. And it's really a great experience because you learn so much about like hands-on STEM experience and a lot about the engineering field and even the business field too, because we have a whole business team that finds sponsors and makes t-shirts and makes banners, worries about all where we're going on our trip. So there's definitely a lot of valuable lessons to be learned, and it's really fun.
To add what Scarlett said, we also get to work alongside several adults that work in the STEM fields, and they mentor us because we're making a whole robot by scratch, which is completely insane, doing around 13 hours a week on the regular and close to 30 in the last final week stretch.
How many kids are in robotics right now at the high school, roughly?
I think it's about 30,
Yeah.
somewhere around there.
And how many are going to Cleveland this week? Is it this weekend? Cleveland, Ohio?
It is this weekend, which actually inconveniently is also the senior trip.
Yeah.
So a lot
What
of
are
our
you doing?
experienced members and our seniors aren't going. So I think there's only about like 15 students going maybe, which should be
Okay.
interesting. But
So Tiffany and Scarlett, you're going to Boston instead of Cleveland?
yes.
Sorry
Yep.
about that. But hopefully, is there any other competitions after Cleveland for the seniors? No?
No, this is the last one, unless
Okay.
they make it to Worlds.
I mean, I know the answer to this, but what are you most, proud about or glad about being part of robotics? I guess a better way to put it is what's the most important thing you learned from this experience that'll help you as you leave Victor High School?
The most important thing that I've gained from robotics is definitely the hands-on experience, not only with the machinery, but also the quick problem solving that we have to do and adapting on the fly, especially at competitions. Because we can go into a competition that lasts 3 minutes and our robot can get absolutely hammered. And to work that fast to fix it on the spot is incredible. Also, talking to adults and mentors. I know because I take Project Lead the Way classes, which are the tech classes that Victor
Mhm.
offers. So doing that alongside doing robotics for 4 years, it's definitely helped a lot with the math portion and bringing it into real life.
Great. Thank you, Tiffany.
Yeah, so in addition to like the hands-on STEM experience we gain from competitions and stuff, I also like personally have learned a lot about leadership and public speaking. I've been the student lead of the team for the last 2 years, so I've learned a lot about like keeping everybody on task and learning how to talk to adults, even interview skills. I've been in a lot of interviews, judges interviews, or like sponsor interviews. So I've definitely learned a lot about leadership and scheduling and talking to other people and communicating.
Awesome. All right, we have only a few more minutes, so I know you're all busy. Sydney, what time you got to go back to work?
I still have like 10 minutes, so we're good.
You can do a shout out. Where are you working?
A tropical smoothie.
Where's
Today's
it
Tropical
located?
Tuesday.
Where's
Smoothies
it
are
located?
$3.99.
Where's it located?
It's located like right across from the mall. I think it's called Cobblestone
Oh yeah.
Court,
So you
maybe.
should get some props if you did basically a commercial for the place.
Yeah, I'll tell her.
All right. So Allie, Jake, Sydney, and Emma. Then 4 of you, real quick. do a shout out for somebody that's made a big impact on your life, especially somebody, if you want to, somebody from the school. And maybe one thing as well that you just take out of being in the musical. Somebody go first.
I'll go first. For me, I just want to shout out Melima for really like helping me find like my voice, I feel like, and I feel like I've come pretty far the past 4 years. And also Mr. Denner for putting together all the amazing set pieces, even with his situation of being out for a couple weeks. He really got it done and helped us get this show together. And then for me, I think I want to touch back on what Jake said about just like overall confidence. Like I feel like the musical has definitely helped me with that, and just being able to do more than I thought I could before. So
Awesome.
It's been a great experience.
Thank you, Sydney.
I'd like to shout out Mr. Coughlin and Mr. Main and Miss Mama and Mr. Hawkinson. They really helped me grow as a person and as a performer. And doing the musical has really taught me like what it means to work as a team and take criticism and take the notes and help you improve like your skills and your talents. I think that's like really important, and that's what Victor, doing the musicals at Victor, has taught me.
Okay. Thank you, Emma.
I also want to shout out Mr. Coughlin because I feel like I've been working closely with him for the last 4 years, and he's a lot, as well as the other directors, like part of the reason that I've grown so much over the last 4 years. And I feel like knowing how to work towards a goal and like being able to manage everything that's involved in that is what I've learned most from the musical, because we know that we have to get it there. So like we all have to try to figure out how we're going to do that as a team. And I think that's what I've learned.
Awesome. Thank you, Allie. Jake, you didn't go yet, did you?
No. I want to shout out Mrs. Brewer, who conducts all of the musicals. She works really hard to make sure that the pit is really a part of the show, and she really tries to get students into the pit, but also does a great job of helping us learn what it's like to have orchestra with us.
Thanks, Jake. Jake might have froze at the end, but it was a good ending there. Let's go. Jake, you still talking? Sorry.
Like a sense of community is.
All right.
Like the musical, so close.
Jake, you kind of hesitated, but I think we get the picture.
Good now.
Thank you. Rohan and Rohan, how about you? What person has influenced you a ton from school, and what do you take out of DECA?
Yeah, I'd say to start, Mr. Kataya is a big influence. He's going through a lot personally right now, so I just want to shout him out and say we appreciate you, and we appreciate everything you've done for Victor DECA. And then second, something that I've taken out of DECA is just confidence is key. There's been times where I've gone into a role play being somewhat hesitant about the information I'm talking about, but I've learned that if you speak with confidence, people will believe you. And I've really taken that to heart, that confidence is key when speaking to adults or in different interview situations.
Thank you, Rohan. Katie.
I just want to give a shout out to Mrs. Utz. She's also one of the chapter advisors for Victor DECA, and she's been so supportive and motivational throughout the entire process. Every time a kid moves on in DECA, she congratulates them. She's really like our number one cheerleader. She definitely has the energy to match it too. She's always so positive and so helpful, and she's definitely been a great help during this entire process. I would say one thing I'm taking away from DECA is that sometimes you just need to have fun with things, especially in our role plays. Like Rohan said, like going in with confidence and the mindset that you just want to have fun with it, it helps a lot, and the judge can really sense that too. And then it's just a great time coming out of it.
It's awesome. Thanks, Katie. Appreciate it. Then I'm going to go back to Scarlett and Tiffany. I know you already talked a little bit about how important robotics is and what you've learned from it. How about a shout out to anybody who, staff members who you work with in school that's really made a difference in your lives?
I want to shout out Pete Fleckenstein for sticking it out with us this long. He was the original creator of the first robotics at Victor, and also him sticking it out an extra 4 years after his retirement.
Amazing guy, isn't he?
Truly.
I'd like to shout out Mr. and Mrs. Gideson and Mr. Dennis. Mr. Dennis was actually Mr. Fleckenstein's replacement, and he's been great being like letting us stay after school and helping us with in the machine shop, learning all that kind of stuff and making sure that we have all the time we need. And Mr. and Mrs. Gideson have been great since the beginning. Obviously, I think they founded it with Mr. Fleck, and they've been here through retirement, and they're always willing to help, and they're the best.
Thank you, Scarlett. And then we're also trying to find, I can't promise you where it is yet or how we're going to do it, but we're trying to find you a better space to practice in, because you need a higher ceiling.
That would be
correct?
awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, you
That's
got a
been a
lot of
big
advocates.
struggle.
You got a lot of advocates out there. Trust me.
Yeah.
So,
Way better than using the atrium.
yeah. So we're going to work on that. So listen, everybody, I've kept you a little bit longer than I said I was going to. So I really appreciate you sticking it out. I'm assuming who went back to work? Sydney went back to work. She wasn't late, right?
No.
All right, good. I told her if she gets in trouble with her boss to let me know. But hopefully people go get a smoothie later. Do they know at that place that they got Emma and you and Sydney like our musical stars, and do they understand how important that is?
They came to see the show, some of them.
They did?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Awesome. All right. Well, listen, I just want to thank all of you. You're incredible young leaders. You're doing amazing things. You're doing more than one thing in your life. Not only do you have school, but you have these great experiences that you're a part of. And a lot of you are doing many different things. Stay, again, don't put too much pressure on yourself. We didn't get a chance to talk about mental health but all of you, just need to make sure, because you're high performers in whatever you do, just take care of yourselves first. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Have fun. Like somebody said, that's the most important thing. And just really proud of all of you for everything you've done and continue to do. And for the seniors, you're headed towards great things, and I'm really excited for you. And then of course, anybody who's not a senior, we're glad to have you back next year. So have a great time. Now we're going to try, have a great evening and stay in touch. We're going to try something we haven't done before. I don't think we're going to switch everybody around. We're going to put some new students on. So you guys are going away and taking part in a regular Tuesday evening. Thank you. Mr. Isaacs, if you could bring on some of our other amazing students, we'll talk to them. Let's see who showed up.
Thank you, Dr. T.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Turnover.
you.
Look at this crew. Wait a minute. Andrew, I'm surprised you're not wearing a tie.
Didn't seem fitting, sorry.
All right. Well, let's just wait for everybody to connect here. What? How many cheerleaders are there? It says Noah on your screen,
I'm trying to figure out how to change it.
I want to know who Noah is.
That's my brother.
Oh, okay.
What's it supposed to say?
Supposed to
Well, it could
my
say
name.
anything. You're on mute. There you go.
Tell me your name again so I can change that for you.
Carly Ruffalo.
All right. Somebody's trying to. Who we got? We got Colin here. Charlie, you go by Charlie, right?
Yeah, I go by Charlie.
Everybody can tell the hockey players because they have the hats on, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
we were gonna have Michael on, but he's got to try out for lacrosse. So
I
it's just
know.
you two right now. Let's see who we have. We got a few more well, let's just go through the group and introduce yourselves. All right. I'll say your first name and you tell everybody what you've accomplished this winter and who you are. So Colin, you go ahead.
All right. I'm Colin McNamara. I played on the varsity hockey team this year, and we won sectionals and we won regionals. And what I think I accomplished is I created a lot of friendships with many of my teammates. And I think as the season went on, we got really close, and that's what helped us win.
You're a senior.
Yeah.
And then Charlie, you're a senior too, right?
Yeah, I am.
Go ahead.
So I'm on the same team as Colin, played hockey. And what I think I've accomplished and what Victor Hockey has accomplished is we won regionals and sectionals and went to states. But more importantly, we became better people and grew as a family throughout the year.
Great. Thank you, Charlie. And all right, let's go to our sectional champion cheerleading team. There's 3 of you. Supposedly there's going to be, just tell me who you are so I can get everybody. Go ahead.
My name is Kaylin Lionel. I am on the varsity cheer team. This season we accomplished winning sectionals and we made it to states, and we were able to go to nationals this year, which was an unforgettable experience. And another thing that we accomplished is some really strong bonds between the team and just really making really fun memories together.
Kaylin, right?
Yes, Kaylin.
Okay. That's a great name, by the way.
Thank you.
Now I gotta tell everybody they have a great name or else they'll feel down. So Haley, or no, there's no Haley's.
I'm Haley.
Yeah, Haley's there. I thought that was Haley.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm Haley, and I'd have to agree with Kaylin. Winning sectionals was definitely a dream come true. And then although we got 4th at states, 2nd at nationals, and I don't remember what we got at counties. We got 2nd at counties, but we had some really great performances, and we're really proud of what we did this season.
Great.
I'm Carly Ruffalo. I'm also on the cheer team, and I'd say what we accomplished this season was obviously winning sectionals and everything that they had said about states and nationals. And I'd say we accomplished a really strong bond with our team. I will never forget this team.
We were going to have Marissa. Is she all right?
She has a family emergency
Okay,
that
so she's not on your house somewhere.
No.
All right, good. We'll come back to you guys in a second. And then I want to introduce our 2 track and field athletes who are both seniors. Maddie, you want to go first?
Sure. I'm Maddie Pitts. I compete on the track and field team. This year, I accomplished winning sectionals in 2 events, and then the girls' team got 2nd place. I placed in 3 events at states, and we won 1st in the 4x4, and I won nationals in the pentathlon. And also, I feel like this year we really increased positivity on the team and grew closer and kind of increased those connections and really increased team spirit and kind of camaraderie on the team this year.
Is it fair to say that you're the best athlete in the family?
I don't know if I can say that, but
You're definitely you the oldest?
Yeah.
Yeah. For anybody who knows, her brother was the goalie on the hockey team.
Yeah.
Is the goalie on the hockey team. That was nice of you, Maddie. You didn't throw him under the bus.
No, I can't throw him on the bus. He's watching.
Okay, that's good. Andrew, by the way, he's also in DECA, although I didn't have him on for the DECA group. Probably in about 7 others. You're also the president, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Andrew's got many hats. Go ahead, Andrew, but talk about track for a second, because what you did is also amazing. Just talk about it.
Yeah, so my name's Andrew Kovaleski. I'm a senior. I won the individual championship in shot put this year for indoor track and field.
And how many years have you been doing the shot put?
This is my first year. Yeah, I joined indoor this winter.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but this is such an amazing story. Going into the sectionals, and maybe I'm wrong, but you weren't the #1 shot putter ranked, were you?
No, I was ranked 3rd going into sectionals.
So what happened?
I threw it farther than them. That's really all shot put is.
Yeah, but it takes an amazing technique. How did you learn it in 1 year?
A lot of time with Coach Odell, him telling me what I was doing wrong, not being afraid to tell me that I was not doing well.
Awesome. All right. I'm sorry. I cut you off in the middle of this. Anything else? So you're the sectional champion in shot put. So that you went to the States.
I went to state quals and got third, top two
Okay.
go on. So I missed the line there a little bit, and then I contributed at sectionals 10 points to the guys team, and we scored significantly better than they have in the past. So happy to contribute there.
That's fantastic. What was I going to say? I just want to recognize before I ask you a couple questions, because I know you guys are busy. I want to recognize some people who weren't able to come on tonight. I almost got the legendary Alex Crossing to be on this thing, who won the states in the 500-meter swim. I think he was the state swimmer of the year this year, but Alex unfortunately is preparing for another major meet. But we were close. But I want to shout out to Alex and his amazing achievements in swimming. I want to go back to your 4x4 state champion track team, which Maddie, you were one of them, right?
Yeah.
And then we got Julia. Is it Julia Sodoma?
Yeah.
Grace Woodworth, the legendary. I use the word legendary again. Melody Harloff, who I tried to get on the show, but I couldn't negotiate a good price for her, so she didn't show up. But she's also an individual champion in the sectionals, and I think was it Leah Brasacchio? Did I say that right? How do I pronounce her name?
Brasacchio.
Brasacchio.
Yeah.
I messed that up, Leah. Is Leah a senior?
No, she's a sophomore.
Good. All right. As long as I didn't mess up a senior's name. I'm sorry, Leah. Leah ran in the prelims, but anyhow, Leah, Maddie, Julia, Grace, and Melody, they were the state champion 4x400 team, which is amazing. And I tried to get this guy on, but he was also working and he wasn't able to. But I want to recognize Dom Matardi for winning the sectionals at 110 pounds in wrestling. One of the toughest sports there is, and a great senior, and just did a fantastic job. So I want to throw a shout out to Dom because he's just a great kid and has had an incredible career as a wrestler. So, but going back to this group, just talk a little bit about what you enjoyed the most. You did a little bit already, but what did you either you could choose. What did you enjoy the most with your sport this year? Or what was the biggest obstacle that you had to overcome to be so successful? So either one you could do. What did you enjoy the most, or what was an obstacle that you had to overcome to be as successful as you were? Because all of you on this show tonight have been extremely successful. Who wants to go first? Go ahead, Colin.
All right. I think our biggest obstacle for the hockey team was definitely that loss to Notre Dame of Batavia near the end of the season, because I think a lot of the kids on our team and some of us were like, we thought we were better than we were. And I think when we lost that game that we weren't supposed to, I think that just motivated a lot of kids on our team. And we just knew that after that loss, we weren't going to lose again. So like that made us play a lot better. And I think that's what was the biggest obstacle and what made us most successful.
How about you, Charlie?
I'd say the most fun things that we've done are like the pasta dinners we did outside of hockey, and then the ping pong tournaments and the badminton tournaments. And we also went bowling. We had a 3v3 tournament at the Dick's Outdoor Rink, which was really fun. I just think that really brought our team together, and that was awesome.
Yeah, and I think this is similar to all these teams, but I noticed it because I went to, as you know, I went to a variety of the hockey games. You guys were a team first. Like you were about each other. You could just tell. And even the fact that you, adopted was it a second grade classroom?
Yeah, we went to Mrs. Zink's classroom.
Yeah, and I basically adopted them, and I've talked to those kids. You guys mean the world to them. And I think that's just fantastic. How did you handle the stress of being in three overtimes and then shootout, 4 overtimes, then the shootout? So how did you stay together and keep your heads, so to speak, in the right frame of mind as you're going through all that pressure with all those people screaming in the stands and just overtime, and where one bounce of the puck the wrong way is it?
I'd say a lot of it was just trusting the process, what we believe in. And we knew we'd get it done eventually, but it took a long time, obviously. But yeah, just trusting the process and believing.
And you were down earlier in the game.
Yeah, we were.
You were down in the third period, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Colin? You were obviously, I believe you were the leading scorer on the entire team. True? I know you
Yeah.
don't want to brag, but that's a lot of pressure carrying into a game like that.
Yeah. Actually, after the second overtime, when we got off the ice, I went back out for the third overtime and I was cramping like really, really bad. I only went out for one shift and then I didn't even play the third or fourth. I only played one shift in the third or fourth overtime, but I just like wasn't worried at all. I knew that all the other kids and our depth on our team is just crazy. And I knew that we had good depth to get it done. And eventually we would get them tired and bring it to a shootout, and Pitsy would shut the door for us. And we eventually got it done.
That's great. Great effort by the whole team. I'll come back to everybody in a second, but going to our track athletes. So again, what was either the most enjoyable or best thing out of the experience of being in track and field, or what's the biggest obstacle you two had to face? Because Andrew, you came out of, let's just say, nowhere from the beginning of the year when you hadn't done it before, and you end up being a sectional champion, which is amazing. Maddie had a bit of more experience as one of the best athletes in the entire state in her sport. So you had a different kind of pressure on you this year. But maybe both of you could talk about what you went through and just how you felt.
I think one of our biggest obstacles as an entire track team are the facilities for track are hard to come by. And so we spend lots of days running in the freezing cold, especially the distance runners. And then the field events, like the sand pit, we never practice in a sand pit all year. And then hurdles, you obviously can't do outside in the snow, nor high jump. So it's really hard to work on the technical aspects of a lot of those events. So that was definitely a big obstacle. But we were able to get access to the primary school to kind of work on some of those things. But still, a lot of the other schools in the section were able to practice at track facilities. So we had that disadvantage going in. But I think we were able to outwork everyone else, and that gave us overcoming that adversity just made us work harder and come together, and being in those tough conditions only made us stronger.
So you're the national champion in the pentathlon, correct?
Yeah.
And tell for the group, just for everybody, tell them the 5 events.
So it's the 60-meter hurdles, the long jump, high jump, 800-meter run, which is 2 laps around the outdoor track, and shot put. Just phenomenal, Maddie. Please tell me you threw the shot put longer than Andrew. Unfortunately not. But
Okay. I'm just kidding. I mean, honestly, Andrew, who knows? I mean, she could do anything.
I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, Andrew, biggest obstacle and/or most important thing you took out of track.
The 2 more enjoyable things I found from track. First, for me, as my first year, was just learning everything. It was a fun learning curve for all events, throws, jumps, sprints, just fun to learn the new things. And the other being, when I first joined track, I was like, why would anyone join a sport where you have to run every day? But that kind of shared suffering of when you're doing awful workouts kind of brings everyone really close together. So it's just a fun bond to build with everyone on the team.
Are you still doing all your duties you're supposed to as president?
Oh, yeah.
All right, good. Who's the vice president? I can't remember.
Michael Dumas.
Okay. You tell him what to do mostly, or?
A little bit of both.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's an amazing accomplishment what you did. Obviously what everybody did, but first year, just I remember people talking about it. So great job, Andrew.
Thank you.
And then certainly last but not least, let's talk to Carly, Haley, and Kaylin. So each of you just tell a little bit, again, either obstacle or most important thing you took out of cheerleading this year.
One of our biggest obstacles was definitely putting 20 girls ranging from 8th grade to senior year in a gym every day for 8 months. And if something doesn't go accordingly, you know, there's a lot of emotions going all throughout the entire season, but just knowing your end goal and everything will work out in the end is really what's worth it for everybody. And just making sure that you're there for each other and keep pushing everyone. Even when you're the only one talking on the net, you know that it helps everyone.
Yeah, I'd definitely say COVID was one of our major obstacles. So in the beginning of the season, we had up to four girls out at a time. And then with the return to play, took a long time for them to come back. And with cheerleading being such a team sport, if one person's out, it affects every single person on the team. So when we had to compete with multiple girls out, it really caused a lot of stress and had to make us rearrange.
Awesome. Thanks, Haley.
I'd also say another obstacle was starting our winter season. We were losing left and right, and none of us really knew how to be a team. It was more of like an individual sport, but we finally all brought it back together and we were finally a team by the end of our season.
What's amazing about what you do, similar, I think to the track and field athletes, but even, almost more intense in one is you had what? How long is your routine in the sectionals?
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
2 minutes and 30
seconds. That
seconds.
is just straight yelling.
Two minutes and 30 seconds. And
yeah, 2 minutes and 30 seconds are the entire routine, and 30 seconds of the routine is straight yelling.
And to win
interacting with the crowd and everything like that.
And to win the sectionals in this area, which is some really competitive cheer teams, you have to just hit it out of the park for that 2 minutes.
Yeah, you really got to go every ounce of energy you have in your body, just really take it all in and just try to push everybody and yourself and just try and yell as loud as you can and just throw reminders out when it comes to your head.
And I think we could all agree that we're in the most competitive division in Section 5 and possibly the state. So it really adds something when you have a large all-girl team. It's usually like the best of the best.
Yeah, it was an amazing performance and you just knocked it out of the park and under a significant amount of pressure. So congratulations. All right, we're going to end tonight. I want you to think about somebody or a couple people in the Victor or on the Victor staff that really has, influenced your life and you'll take with you, so to speak, in your heart as you move on and move on past Victor High School into some incredible stuff that you're going to do. Let's go. Let's start with Carly, Haley, and Kaylin.
I'm going to say Mr. Redout has really impacted me personally. I've had him all 4 years of high school, and he's always been asking questions about how we did. He always says he watches our live streams over COVID for our competitions, and he's always just been there to support us.
I'd also say Mr. Redout and also Mr. Thompson. They were one of the few teachers that actually asked me how my season was going, actually asked like what cheer was and asked me to explain it to them so they could get a better understanding.
I think somebody that really helped me throughout my school career was Mr. Sousa. I had him as my health teacher and he constantly checked up on me and made sure I was okay with all the pressure and stress going around with cheer. And he showed up to one of our practices and it was one of the best practices we had. He was like the cheerleader for the cheerleaders. It was great.
It's awesome. And again, the three of you and the rest of the team, obviously just did a fantastic job and congratulations for everything.
Thank you.
Colin and Charlie, what do you think? Who do you want to talk about?
I'd recognize my coach. He is my coach, but even if he wasn't my coach, I'd still look up to him. He's a role model and leader to me. He's very disciplined and structured in what he does. And anything he does, really, any sport he does, he always strives for the best. And that really impacts me and motivates me to strive for the best. And no matter what, he's always putting smiles on other people's faces. And I love that.
Which coach?
Coach Ferrari.
Coach Ferrari.
Yeah.
Because Coach Sousa would have taken credit for that if you didn't.
Yeah, Sousa also is very
I'm just kidding. You have amazing coaches. All three of them on that varsity team are amazing. But shout out to Coach Ferrari. How about you, Colin?
I have to go with Coach Ferrari too. To be honest, he's just hands down the best coach I've ever had, and he's always 100% in what he does, and you just always have to trust him. And he'll be there whenever you need him. Like if you need to call him whenever you want, he'll just answer, and he's always there for me. And he's just a kid's person, and he'll just always be there for you.
again, I just have to say, the fact that, and I know all three of your coaches are just phenomenal on the varsity, obviously under Coach Ferrari, but you guys, they've set up a team, not just hockey players. And I think a lot to do with the success of your team was the way you worked with one another, understood one another, cared about each other. I mean, I think it had probably less to do with some of the technical skills of hockey, and it had more to do with the way you trusted each other and built the relationships, and which took you through some really tough times, but ultimately on top. So, that's a credit to you guys as well, and it's going to lead you to a lot of success out of high school. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And then Maddie and Andrew.
I'm gonna highlight Coach Goodell. He was new to the coaching staff this year, but everyone has seen such the positive impact that he's had on the team. He's created a good open communication flow between the athletes and especially the leaders and seniors on the team, and being able to give our input to him. And he's also just been so positive and always willing to talk about anything and continually looking to improve the track program. He's given us access to the primary school. He was a huge part of that and is always looking for ways to make small improvements that's going to bring us a lot of success. And I'm confident we're going to be super successful this year with his new guidance as the boys head coach and for years to come.
Thanks, Maddie.
Mine would be Coach Odell, who is the throws coach, as well as a few other things for the indoor team. He taught me a lot in and out of the circle. Just obviously I came in with no knowledge, so he taught me from ground up, which I'm sure takes a lot of patience in a coaching standpoint, but he got me up to a high level, and I have only him to thank for that. I've heard he has a crystal ball that he sees everyone's future talent in, and when I showed up on the first day, he saw me as a thrower, and I've heard he's never wrong, so here we are.
It's awesome. A lot. Yeah, he's a great, legendary coach and person who's been in Victor for a long time, and just does a great job, and we hope he continues doing that. So, well, listen, all of you, you should, I'd thank all of you because you're headed for incredible things. Again, I had a great group of kids on right before you that are also stellar in their craft and what they do. A lot of them are multi-talented, just like all of you. I said the same thing. Don't put too much pressure on yourselves because you're high performing kids. Just have fun, enjoy the moment, and, continue to be resilient because things don't always go our way. So just remember that. And remember that we're very proud of you here at Victor. I think you're all seniors. Yeah. So it's kind of sad for me, but great for the world ahead. So you've done a fantastic job. Have a great rest of your senior career. How many are you going on the senior trip? Yeah. Charlie, you're going?
Yeah, I'm going.
Andrew, are you leading that trip, or how does that work?
I mean, I helped plan it, but I think I'm in the clear now.
You're going to Boston, remember?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, have a safe trip and have a great time. And thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody. I'm going to stick around for about 10 minutes, talk a little bit about a couple things going on, and these guys are taking off. So congratulations. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm actually going to share my screen because I want to we have a couple minutes left. First of all, just thank you to all of our students on tonight. Just to, we have, I think I said this before once, we have over 4,300 students, pre-K through 12th grade. Each and every one of them has a story to tell. Each and every one of them is exceptional in their own way. And the more we can get on and have people understand how exceptional our kids are, the more they understand what a great place Victor Central School is. So these were just a small number of the incredible students, in this case at the high school, that are just doing amazing things every day. I did want to talk just for a minute. You've heard me mention probably about the reorganization of our leadership level, not so much people, but the structures, especially around curriculum and instruction and special education. I've given a presentation to our staff and at a board meeting, but I did want to highlight a couple things. This is our leadership structure this year from a leadership organization. So you have the superintendent, you have the assistant superintendent for business who has a variety of directors. And then you have an assistant superintendent for personnel who also has a variety of directors. The directors, the principals, the director of technology, and the director of health, PE, and athletics all report to the superintendent, which is me. And so that's a lot of people that report to me. It's also a pretty thin structure at this point. And then we have 2 positions in special education. We're currently director and assistant director. So that's what it currently looks like. And then let me just get this one up here. See if I have the right. There we go. This is what it's going to look like. So and this is the key point, I think, for everybody to understand. We're not adding positions, we're restructuring positions. So the actual only additional position we're adding is in the teacher level. That's going to be an additional teacher on special assignment for the secondary level in special education. But what we've done is elevated the position of director of special ed to assistant superintendent for pupil services. We've created 2 director positions underneath that one. One's focused on elementary special ed and one focused on secondary special education. We're going to keep the teacher on special assignment at the elementary level and add a teacher at special assignment at the secondary level, which is greatly, if you look at this compared to the current model, it adds significant oversight and leadership of the pupil services, which includes related services such as psychs, social workers, counselors, speech and language, OTs, PTs, as well as the entire special ed program. We wanted to add support for those programs by not only having one person oversee the entire thing, both related services and special ed, but also 2 directors focusing themselves at both, one at the elementary level, one at the secondary level, so we can really get a handle on improving our special education programming, having great support for our teachers and the practices in special education, and adding support to our committees on special education that meet on a regular basis. And these 2 TOSAs will help out tremendously there. We have incredible people right now working in our related services and special education positions all over the district. Some of the most dedicated professionals you'll ever see. We want to give them a little more support in terms of a structure to add support so that they have even better professional development, some more guidance on some of the very complex things that happen in special education. And we want to take a deep look at our programming pre-K through 12 so that we're offering the best programming and services for students with disabilities in a district this size. And we can make some, we're gonna really take a deep look at that this spring. And over the next year to 2 years, we're really gonna, I believe, make some real strong progress in the programming for special ed. So this is what we're doing on that level. And then we've actually had a position called associate superintendent from 2 years ago. That person left and we ended up keeping the position, but not filling it this year. So we are going to, we are now going to fill the position. We're going to call it assistant superintendent for instruction instead of associate, because a district this size typically has assistants, not associate superintendents. And that person will then oversee the new positions this year that have really helped our instructional programming K-12, pre-K-12, and that's the director of pre-K-12 math and science, as well as the director of pre-K-12 humanities and professional learning. So the assistant superintendent is going to oversee those 2 positions, as well as the director of technology. In addition to that, that assistant superintendent position will really be in charge of overall curriculum instruction and assessment for the district. We really need to strengthen the leadership from a district-wide stance on in curriculum instruction and assessment, which will give great support to our building administrators, our directors, and most importantly, our teachers, who again are just doing an exceptional job, all 3 of those groups. But this one person now will be that central person to give leadership across pre-K through 12, and will be a great resource to support our overall instructional programming. 2 areas specifically we're looking at amongst many are going to be curriculum revision. We want a guaranteed and viable curriculum in every area that has significant input from staff. And we want to make sure that curriculum is consistent. That needs to be developed over time. And the leadership of this particular person, along with the building administrators and the directors, will go a long way in that. We also want to significantly strengthen our response to intervention process. It's called RTI, which really not just lends support to gen ed students who might be struggling a little bit in reading, writing, math, or even with social emotional needs, but also works with all groups of kids to strengthen the delivery of instruction and really help support kids' growth over time. So response to intervention, as well as certainly curriculum review is a major piece. The other thing that we want to accomplish with these two assistant positions, as well as the directors in special education, is to add social emotional support and work for our staff, as well as certainly for our kids. So we really want to increase the ability to add support and learning for social emotional needs of our kids. It's a huge area, as you all know, certainly multiplied in importance by the COVID crisis over the last 2 years. This will go a long way, we believe, in supporting the social emotional needs of our kids and the professional development and work that our staff and teachers do every day that is so critical to the health and welfare of our kids. So that's just a brief overview of the restructuring. Those positions, the two directors of special ed, as well as the two assistant superintendents, are now being advertised both on our website and through social media. We had an ad in the Democrat and Chronicle on Sunday. So we're looking for candidates for all four of those positions. We anticipate some strong candidates, both internal and external, for them. And then we're going to have a very collaborative process involving staff and in some cases parents to really hire the best people for those four positions. We hope to hire all four by July 1st so they can hit the ground running this summer. So we'll have more updates on that. I really just believe, this emphasis on the restructuring that's going to strengthen our ability to serve kids both in special education and general education, as well as I think our very positive budget situation that we're going to talk more about over the next month and a half, where we are going to add a significant amount of positions in historically understaffed areas at Victor. That will go a long way in supporting the leadership restructuring and just in generally meeting the needs of all kids. And then, of course, the strategic plan that has just been completed that we talked about earlier. We're creating a 1-year management plan from that 5-year strategic plan. And that plan will be ready by July 1st, which will really center us on a small number, but critically important goals as we move into the future. So the strategic plan, the positive budget and financial situation where we're going to be not only solvent financially, but be able to add positions in historically understaffed areas, and certainly the leadership restructuring, which will add greater supports for special education, as well as overall instruction. These are exciting things that are happening over the next few months that are going to really pay dividends starting next school year. Before I leave, I just want to give a couple quick updates. So this Thursday night, 2 nights from now at 7 p.m. at the ECS boardroom, we're going to have our March budget workshop. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to talk about the final proposal that we're giving to the Board of Education. As I mentioned a few seconds ago, it's a pretty exciting proposal with some additional positions, but also done in a way that we believe is really supportive of the community and the financial needs of our community members. So we really try to balance both things, and that we're going to talk more about that on Thursday night. That will also be live streamed to the public. And then we would anticipate board adoption of that budget on April 6th. The April board meeting has been shifted from Thursday, April 7th to Wednesday, April 6th. Just so that's going to be publicized frequently over the next couple of weeks. But in that meeting is when we have the anticipated board adoption of the 22-23 budget. Just a few plugs before I leave. The VIPE show which is our incredible percussion group. That's going to be this Saturday. Doors are open at 12. But it's the competition with 10 other school districts, starts at 1 p.m. at the senior high gym. It's an incredible thing to witness. If you can, please show up. I think if it's $8 at the door. Again, this is our VIPE group, our musical ensemble, our drum ensemble. They're incredible. And come out on Saturday, March 26th and cheer on the Victor VIPE. Last week, 21 senior high students attended the 11th annual Nazareth College Global Citizenship Conference. Among the sessions, students had the opportunity to attend were Abrahamic traditions and African American, Native American, indigenous spiritual traditions. Hundreds of students from all across Greater Rochester attended this year's event. It was entitled Resilience and Patience. Big shout out to the 21 senior high students who attended the Global Citizenship Conference. What a great teaching opportunity for our kids. Something similar, although we were only able to bring 4 kids to this, was the Rock to Change Summit that occurred last week. And that was at BOCES 2 in Spencerport. Rock to Change Summits are annual events that discuss race relations in our overall community and also from a student's perspective. If you've ever seen one, it's incredible about this in terms of student leadership, talking about racial challenges, racial perspectives, and really listening to the students about what they're dealing with from all races. And I am very pleased to say that in the fall of 2023, the Victor Central School District will be a co-sponsor of that Rock to Change Summit. Again, that's the fall of 2023. We've already approved that, and we're looking forward to taking a leadership role with Rock to Change in the fall of 2023. And couldn't forget our Winter Guard. Our Winter Guard had an amazing performance about a month ago. They are undefeated and going to the championship next week. So we'll have updates on how they do. So I wanted to put a shout out to our Winter Guard. Our next town hall is in April, and it's going to be, my special guest will be Derek Valise, our assistant superintendent for business. He and I are going to go over the budget, the 22-23 budget that hopefully at that point will have been adopted by our Board of Education, and we'll be communicating that budget to the community through the town hall. We're going to get as specific as we need to, so that and people are going to be able to ask questions around it. So looking forward to that town hall in April. Again, big thank you to all our students who are on the show tonight. Appreciate everybody's hard work. Appreciate our staff and faculty and our community continuing to make Victor Central School one of the best districts in the state. Have a great night. Enjoy your week. Take care.